Just a minute. Just a minute. I will come. Hello, madam. Hello, madam. Is my screen visible to you, students?
Yes, sir. Business.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. In the previous session, we have seen what is measurement. Measurement means it is a given parameter or quantity. It is the comparison. It is just like a comparison between the predefined standard and unknown quantity is known as measurement. And what are the requirements of this measurement? We have seen what is it is a comparison, and we should follow some procedure. That procedure should be in the provable in nature, and the major problem with any measuring instrument is the error. These are the different advantages of electronic measurement. That quantity conversion is possible, amplification of the signal, filtering of the signal, multiplexing, sampling, all these things can be done by using this measurement. Electronic measurement conversion is possible. Signals can be transmitted from over the long distances with higher sensitivity. The quantity to be measured is known as measurand. Again, this is repeated given. Those standards are accurately known and internationally accepted. The operators and the experimental procedure adapted for comparison must be in provable in nature. The types of measurements are two basic methods of measurements are direct comparison method and indirect comparison method. Calibration is the it is just like a checking of the instrument with some particular standard, like that. If there is any discrepancy or any deviation with respect to that standard, we can call that it as, if there is any discrepancy or deviation, we are supposed to set it right and do the later part of the experiment. And calibration procedure involves the comparison of a particular instrument with either a primary standard, secondary standard, or some working standards, like that. Okay. Measurement consists of designing, testing, theory, analysis, measuring of the instrument. All these things comes under the measurement part. Measurand. Measurand is a physical quantity or the characteristic condition which is the object of measurement in the instrument system is termed as measurand. It is the let it be this is some measurement system. It consists of some input signal as well as output signal. Input signal, I can treat this input signal as measurement, and output signal I can treat this as measurement. Here there are some international organization is there for giving out these some standards here, internationally acceptable standards, that is international organization of standards. Next, with respect to our country, one organization is there, that is Indian Bureau of Standards. Standards employed for comparison should be it should follow these accurately defined, commonly acceptable operators and methods adopted for comparison must be provable. These three things should be followed by any organization or some any manufacturing company, like that. Standards of measurement in that primary standard. What is primary standard? We have seen this one. And what is secondary standard, and what is working standard. primary standards are given by the these primary standards are given by the these two organizations, IBS and as well as ISO. Whereas the secondary standards are derived standards from the primary standards. Okay, the accuracy with respect to that accuracy, primary standards are very much accurate when compared to the secondary standards. And third one is these secondary standards are given by some measurement laboratories and industrial organizations like that. Whereas these working standards are given by some workers or technicians. These are derived standards are going to be obtained from these workers. These standards are time to time update should be needed for these standards. First one is primary standards, second one is secondary standards, and third one is working standards. Okay. And methods of measurements are two types of comparisons are there. Indirectly, methods of measurement means comparison. There are two types of methods are there. That is direct comparison method, and second one is indirect comparison method. Territory measurement. Territory measurement means it consists of two conversions. Normally let it be some secondary measurement like that, it consists of only one comparison, one conversion. Whereas in this territory measurement, there are two conversions will be takes place here. Two conversions will takes place. We can call this as indirect measurement only, but it is two conversions. It is undergoing some two conversions here. Let it be some thermometer, some liquid type of thermometer is there. In that liquid is get converted into vapor, and that vapor is get converted into the that vapor itself creates some pressure. That pressure is going to be given to some Bourdon tube. The movement in the Bourdon tube will gives the indication upon the scale. Like that, two conversions is taking place. That vapor is get converted into pressure, and pressure is get converted into some linear movement in the Bourdon tube, and the elongation of the Bourdon tube will takes place. Due to that elongation, and the pointer and scale movement will takes place. That is just like this one. This is the first conversion is some vapor to the pressure, and some pressure to the linear movement in the Bourdon tube, like that. This is territory measurement. Example for that is territory measurement. Some other examples are there for this territory measurement. We will see further. We will see what is that different types of measurements. And performance characteristics. In these performance characteristics, there are two types of performance characteristics is there. That is, first one is static characteristics, and second one is dynamic characteristics. In static characteristics, we have seen accuracy. Accuracy means simply the degree of closeness or correctness of the degree of closeness or correctness approaches the true value of quantity. Simply, this is the single word. By using this single word, you can define this accuracy. Okay. And precision. The term precision means clearly or sharply defined. Precision is a measure of it is just a measure of reproducibility of measurement here. It is usually expressed in terms of deviation in instrument measurement, like that. Okay. Next, difference between this accuracy and precision. If all the arrows are targeted upon the bullseye, we can call this as high precision and high accurate instrument. If the points, whatever the readings or the points are targeted upon away from the bullseye, we can treat this as a low accuracy and high precision. If all the arrows or the readings which are placed upon the which are placed around the bullseye, we can call this as high accurate and low precision. Whereas these are all the arrows or the readings are taking out away from the accurate values from the bullseye, we can treat this as low accuracy and low precision. This is the pictorial representation of accuracy and precision. Thereafter, Every accuracy can be a precision instrument. Accurate instrument can be called as a precision instrument, but precision is not a accurate instrument like that. Okay. Error error is the difference between the measured value and the true value. Error is the error is the difference between measured value and the true value of quantity. We can call this as a static error or absolute error. It is going to be represented as ES here, that is Vm minus Vt. Next one is relative static error. That relative static error is given by Vm minus Vt by Vt. That Vm minus Vt can be called as ES here, that is replaced with the term ES by Vt. This is absolute error. This is the true value of quantity. If the error is positive, the instrument reads high value here. If the error is negative, the instrument is going to be read low value. Next one, correction. The difference between true value and the measured value of quantity is called static correction. The difference between, it is just a reverse for error here. It is measured value and true value. Difference between measured value and true value, whereas it is the difference between true value and measured value. True value Vt minus Vm, that is equal to minus Es. We can treat this as minus Es here. Okay, this is about correction. Okay. Please note it down. Please note it down. Error ES. Please note down this error. ES is equal to Vm minus Vt. And the correction, this relative static error ER is equal to Vm minus Vt by Vt is equal to Es by Vt. Please note it down these terms. These terms. Later on we will use these terms in the problem. That's why. Please note it down. Please maintain one fair notes, and that fair notes, please note down these some important terms. Some important terms. We can call this notes as a keynote గా యూస్ చేసుకున్నాము. ఇది మనం ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పే నోట్ డౌన్ చేసుకున్న పాయింట్ ఏదైనా చెప్తే అది కీ నోట్స్లో రాసుకుంటే బెటర్ అనమాట. ఏదైనా నెక్స్ట్ ఫర్దర్గా కూడా ఏదైనా డయాగ్రామ్ వస్తుంది, ఆ డయాగ్రామ్ వచ్చినప్పుడు డ్రా చేయడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. డ్రా చేస్తేనే మనకు వస్తుంది. ఏదైనా డ్రా చేస్తే కానీ డిరైవ్ చేస్తే కానీ వస్తాయి, మామూలుగా రావు. నెక్స్ట్ కరెక్షన్ టర్మ్ ఆల్సో నోట్ ఇట్ డౌన్. Vt minus Vm, that is equal to minus Es. Here I am giving out some problem here. An analog indicating instrument with a scale range of 0 to 5 volt showing a voltage of 2.65 volt. The true value of voltage is 2.70 volt. What are the values of absolute error? And the correction express the error as a function of the true value. Ikkada given data, what is the given data? Measured value is 2.56. Note it down, only this reading. Ikkada ee problem anta raayadu, only note it down. This Vm value is 2.65, whereas Vt value is, true value is 2.70. Then from these two values I can calculate what is static error. Es is equal to Vm minus Vt. Es is equal to Vm minus Vt, that is equal to minus 0.05 is the static error. Absolute correction is given by Cs is equal to minus Cs. Therefore, this error is in the negative format, whereas correction will become positive here. That is 0.05 volt. And the relative error ER is given as ER is equal to Es by Vt. That is given like this one. In terms of percentages, so that is minus 1.85%. In this way, we can calculate what is absolute error, absolute correction, relative error also. Percentage relative error also is also possible. Okay. In this way, we can, it is very important for 2 marks. 2 marks some error. What is error? What is absolute error? What is absolute correction? Relative error, like that. Okay. Next is range. Range means it is the difference between the largest value. It is going to be given the largest value. We are going to take two values, that is largest value as well as smallest reading. The smallest value, difference between largest and smallest reading of the instrument. Let it be some s like that. The range is expressed by stating the lower and upper values here, lower and upper values. The range can be given with respect to from 0 to 100. Some any temperature sensing device, we can, that range can be given as 0 to 100. This is the range. This is the range. This is the range. This is the lower value. This is the lower value, and 100 is the upper value. That is the difference between, this is the it is just a difference here. We it is just a difference between the largest and the smallest reading of the instrument. As the range is expressed by stating the lower and upper values. Just it is not a difference. We are going to state from lower value and upper value. It is just a statement. Range means just a statement, whereas span means is the difference. Span means it is the algebraic difference between the upper and lower values. Upper and lower values, it is given by this is the upper value s maximum minus s minimum. It is known as span here. Okay, we are going to represent the range with smaller and upper values, whereas span means difference between upper and lower values here. Here the both representation is given like this. Range is we can given from 2 kilonewtons per meter square to 50 Newton per meter square, whereas span is 50 minus 2, that is 48 kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, range minus 5 degrees centigrade to 90 degrees centigrade, its span is 92 minus of minus 5, that is 95 degrees centigrade. In this way, we can represent both range and span. Next one is repeatability and reproducibility. Repeatability and reproducibility. Here, repeatability pertains to the closeness of output readings. We are going to give the closeness of output readings when the same input is applied repeatedly. When the same input is applied repeatedly over this short period of time with same measuring condition, with same measurement conditions, same instrument and observer, same location, same conditions of use maintained throughout. This measurement, this change in no change in measurement method అనుకుందాం అన్నమాట. No change in measurement method. That is known as repeatability. There is a we are going to obtain some closeness of the output readings with the same input applied over the short period of time with the same measurement condition, or the same measurement medium by using the same instrument, అబ్జర్వర్, సేమ్ లొకేషన్, సేమ్ కండిషన్. అంతా కూడా ఒక మెజర్మెంట్ సిస్టమ్ తీసుకుంటే ఆ మెజర్మెంట్ సిస్టమ్ ఒకే మెజర్మెంట్ కండిషన్లోనే ఉండేలా చూసుకుంటాం అనమాట. దాన్ని మనం రిపీటబిలిటీ అంటాం అనమాట. దెర్ ఈస్ నో చేంజ్ ఇన్ ది measuring method. There is no change here. Whereas second one is reproducibility related to the closeness of the output readings from the same input when there are changes in the method of measurement lo change vastund anamata. Method of measurement, there is change in the method of measurement, that is observer with respect to the measuring instrument, location, conditions of use and times of measurement, like that. There is a change in the measuring method change ఉంటుంది. దాన్నేమో reproducibility అంటాం. No measurement change in the measuring method condition is known as repeatability. That is the basic difference. Both are giving out close readings of the closeness of the output readings ఇస్తుంది both, but the basic difference is no change in the measuring method, change in the measuring method అయితే we are going to treat that it as reproducibility అని చెప్పి ట్రీట్ చేస్తాం. అదే నో చేంజ్ ఇన్ ది మెజరింగ్ మెథడ్ అంటే రిపీటబిలిటీ అని చెప్పి ట్రీట్ చేస్తాం. ఈ బేసిక్ పాయింట్ ఒకటి రాయండి. ఇది రిపీటబిలిటీ అంటే ఏంటి ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి. రిపీటబిలిటీ హైఫెన్ క్లోజ్నెస్ ఆఫ్ అవుట్పుట్ రీడింగ్స్ విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు ది నో చేంజ్ ఇన్ measuring method. Whereas this one, reproducibility, means closeness of output readings with the same input, that is చేంజ్ ఇన్ ది మెజరింగ్ మెథడ్. అది కీ పాయింట్ ఆ రెండు రాయండి చాలు. దట్స్ ఇట్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ డ్రిఫ్ట్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ డ్రిఫ్ట్. మీరు ఆ కీ నోట్స్లో షార్ట్గా నేను చెప్పే ఒక్క కీ పాయింట్ రాయండి అమ్మా చాలు. మొత్తం అట్లా మనం ఈ నోట్స్ అంతా మళ్ళీ మీకు ప్రింట్అవుట్ తీసుకుంటే సరిపోద్ది. ఫస్ట్ ఆ కీ నోట్లో మీరు ఇది రాస్తే సరిపోద్ది. ఒక A4 షీట్ కానీ మీ నోట్స్ ఏదైనా పెడితే బెటర్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ డ్రిఫ్ట్ మీన్స్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ undesirable feature, and how we can avoid this, how we are going to obtain this drift, as well as how we can avoid this drift, we will see. It is an undesirable gradual deviation or departure. It is the undesirable feature, that is deviation in some quantity. We can call this as drift. It is undesirable gradual deviation or departure of the instrument output over a period of time that is unrelated to change in input. Unrelated to the changes in the input. Operating conditions are load. ఏదైనా సరే మనం ఇన్పుట్ చేంజ్ చేస్తే అవుట్పుట్లో చేంజ్ అప్రోప్రియేట్గా వస్తుంది అనమాట. కొన్నిసార్లు ఏంటంటే మనం ఇన్పుట్ చేంజ్ చేయకుండానే ఏదైనా అవుట్పుట్లో చేంజ్ వచ్చిందనుకోండి, దాన్ని వీ కెన్ కాల్ దిస్ యాజ్ డ్రిఫ్ట్ హియర్. వై? బికాస్ some of the parameters inside the instrument may vary here due to that variation in the instrument due to the some parts wearing and tearing of some parts will take place inside the instrument. It will cause some drift here, some deviation or some departure of some instrument output will take place without the variation in the input side. That condition, we can call that condition as the drift condition here. Whereas is the drift position, this is a drift position, whereas no drift position reproduces the same reading at different times for same variation in the measured variable. That means measured variable means input. This is the drift position, that is deviation in the output reading. I am not at all making any sort of changes with respect to the input. Whereas no drift position means there is no changeover with respect to the input and output, as well as if there is any change across the input side, that change will reflect across the output side. That position is known as no drift condition here. Okay. Drift may cause by high mechanical stresses. High mechanical movement. Mechanical means movement. Mechanical means movement of the parts inside the any instrument or operators. We can call this as mechanical stresses here. High mechanical stresses, wear and tear of the component, mechanical vibrations due to the mechanical vibration of the any instrument, temperature changes due to temperature changes, or stray electrical and magnetic fields also, and thermal EMFs. Due to these factors, all these factors, we may come across this drift here. And examples for this drift, we may come across this drift in resistance thermometers, thermocouples, flow meters, erosion of orifice plate, nozzle, venturi meters. All these things we can come across this drift. Okay, all these instruments we will see in the 4th, 5th, 6th units. Okay, 5th and 6th, most probably 5th and 6th only. Next one is sensitivity. Sensitivity, the ratio of the magnitude of output signal to the input signal, or response of measuring system to the quantity being measured, is called sensitivity here. Ratio of, it is just a magnitude with respect, it is the ratio of magnitude, or we can call this as change in the output quantity to the input quantity. Simply, change in the output quantity to the input quantity is known as sensitivity. Simply, here this is the infinite symbol means very small value, very small change in output, infinite symbol change in input. That is static sensitivity is given by similarly it is just like a gain. We can take this gain as output by input, normally output by input, whereas here sensitivity means change in output by change in input. like that. Here change in output, this is a naught is provided here, change in a naught to with respect to the change in ai, change in ai. This is the static sensitivity here. Please note down this term also, static sensitivity. Simply write it down, that is delta a naught by delta ai. Inverse sensitivity or deflection factor or scaling factor is given by delta ai by delta a naught, that is change in input by, it is the reciprocal of this term, is reciprocal of this term. Static sensitivity is equal to, it is reciprocal of these two terms, we can call this as delta a by delta a naught. We can call this as inverse sensitivity or deflection factor or scaling factor here. We can treat this as we can treat this relation 1 by sensitivity S is equal to deflection factor 1 by d, 1 by d. This is the relation between scaling factor or sensitivity or deflection factor. Okay. Here some example is provided, please go through that one. Magnitude of output response is given as in terms of 2.4 mm, magnitude of input is 6 ohms, like that. Here that means here some magnitudes, two magnitudes are provided across the input side and output side. That units is not at all important. We will consider those units. Sensitivity is given by delta a naught by delta ai, that is 2.4 by 6. This is the 0.4 mm per ohm is the sensitivity. Deflection factor is given by delta a by delta a naught, that is 6 by 2.4, that is equal to 2.5 ohm per mm. In this way we can calculate both the terms, that is sensitivity as well as deflection factor. Okay. Next one is linearity. The ability to reproduce the input characteristics symmetrically is called linearity here. The ability to reproduce, linearity means the ability to reproduce. Simply we can call this as ability to reproduce the input characteristics. ఏదైతే మనం ఇన్పుట్ సైడ్ ఇస్తామో అవే ఫీచర్స్ని అవుట్పుట్ సైడ్ కూడా ఇచ్చేదాన్ని లీనియారిటీ అని చెప్పుకోవచ్చు అన్నమాట. The ability to reproduce the input characteristics symmetrically is called linearity. Linearity is simply a measure of maximum deviation of any of the calibrated point from the straight line, that is output should be proportional to input here. Non-linearity may be due to the this is curve. This is the curve. This is the linear. Just a minute. This is the linear. This is the linear curve. First one is linear curve, and this is the straight line. This is the straight line, whereas this is this straight line will give the linear here. Linear input and output values are going to be with respect to the input. I am going to obtain the linear curve here, whereas calibrated curve, this is the actual calibrated curve. I am going the deviation along the curve here. This is the maximum deviation. I am going to obtain the maximum deviation here. That is the non-linearity of the device will take place from this deviation here. Non-linearity may be due to viscous flow from sticky nature of the fluid or some creep, non-linear elements in the measurement device, mechanical stresses, elasticity after the effects in mechanical system, like that. These are the features. Due to these features, I am going to come across this non-linearity in the instrument. Okay. The accuracy and linearity are related closely to each other. It is better to keep the non-linearity as small as possible. ఈ non-linearity అనేది ఎంత తక్కువగా ఉంటే అంత మంచిది అన్నమాట. Non-linearity should be as small as possible in order to obtain small errors. the results in only small errors. Whereas if this non-linearity is high, error state is also going to be high. Next one is hysteresis. Hysteresis, that is the maximum differences in output at any measured value within the specified range when approaching the point first with increasing and then decreasing input may be termed as hysteresis here. For example, I am stretching some rubber band here. I am going to stretch the rubber band. Let it be that is I am going to, while stretching the rubber band, uh, I am going to measure the length of the rubber band like that. I am going to measure with, let it be some 10 readings. I have took some 10 readings by elongating the rubber band here with some, while again stretching, while stretching that I am obtaining 10 readings here. That same stretch is not going to be, that same effect is not going to be there while taking the other set of readings, while just compression, contraction and rare fraction అని చెప్పి అంటాం కదమ్మా, contraction and rare fraction like that, elongation and again giving out the same position of the rubber band for some, for 10 set of readings I am going to obtain different readings here. Again, while elongating I am going to get one set of reading. While removing that, while again making the rubber band to the original position, I am not going to obtain same set of readings here. That is the hysteresis. I can call this as hysteresis here. That phenomena, this phenomena which shows the different outputs effects when loading the device and unloading the device. It is non-coincidence of the loading and unloading curve like that. From this graph, I am going to elongate the rubber band by using this loading effect and uh, making the rubber band in the normal position. I'm going to obtain some different set of readings by using this unloading effect. ఇది same instrument I am going to use the ఒక set of ఒక ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ తీసుకొని నేను ఒక సెట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్స్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు లోడింగ్ ఎఫెక్ట్లో నేను వెయిట్స్ వేస్తూ ఉన్నాను, వెయిట్స్ పుటప్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాను. ఒక ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్లో ఒక వెయిట్స్ పుటప్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నప్పుడు నాకు ఈ సెట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్స్ వచ్చాయి. మళ్ళీ ఆ వెయిట్స్ తీసేస్తున్నాను. ఆ వెయిట్స్ తీస్తూ ఉన్నప్పుడు అన్లోడ్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఇంకొక డిఫరెంట్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్స్ వచ్చినాయి అనమాట. ఆ డిఫరెంట్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్స్లో ఇది ఫోర్స్ అప్లై చేశాను. ఏదైనా ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ మీద ఫోర్స్ అప్లై చేసినప్పుడు ఒక రీడింగ్స్ వస్తున్నాయి. ఆ ఫోర్స్ని తీసేస్తూ కొంచెం కొంచెంగా తగ్గిస్తూ వస్తున్నాను అనమాట ఆ ఫోర్స్ని. అప్పుడు నాకు డిఫరెంట్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్స్ వస్తున్నాయి అనమాట. లోడ్ చేసేటప్పుడేమో ఒక సెట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్స్, అన్లోడ్ చేసేటప్పుడేమో ఇంకొక సెట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్స్ వస్తున్నాయి అనమాట. దట్ వీ కెన్ కాల్ దిస్ యాజ్ hysteresis here. The instrument this curve shows the instrument has no friction due to the sliding parts but having the internal friction. This hysteresis loop will give the instrument do not have internal friction but have internal sliding friction. ఇది మెకానికల్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో చెప్తున్న ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ hysteresis curves అనమాట. Hysteresis results from the presence of irreversible phenomena such as mechanical frictions, slack motion in the bearings, magnetic and thermal effects also. I am going to obtain this hysteresis here. Okay, this is very important. Maximum difference in output, we can simply, this is a maximum difference in output with respect to the set of loading readings as well as unloading readings. Next one is threshold. This term you are very much familiar with respect to the threshold term. The minimum value below which no output change can be detected. Below this value no output change can be detected. That is known as threshold. When the input of an instrument is increased gradually from 0 is called a threshold. Thus threshold defines the minimum value of input which is necessary to cause a detectable change from the 0 output. ఈ threshold value ఇస్తేనే I am going to obtain some output across the with respect to the instrument. I am operating some instrument from zero onwards. From zero onwards I am operating from zero across that threshold reading may be a 0.5 volt like that, 0.6 volts like that. Beyond that value, threshold value, that instrument is going to be given some output here. That is known as threshold. Digital system input signal input signal to cause the least significant digit of output reading to change in the form of digital system, in terms of digital system. Threshold, this threshold may be caused by backlash or internal noises also. Okay, here we know the మన కట్ ఇన్ వోల్టేజ్ ఉంటుంది కదా ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ డివైస్లో డయోడ్ transistor cut-in voltage or threshold voltage or diode cut-in voltage or a threshold voltage like that by conduction state, while full conduction of the diode may take place within that beyond that cut-in voltage only 0.6 volts for silicon, 0.3 or 0.2 volt for germanium, like that. Next one is resolution or discrimination. Next one is resolution or discrimination. When the input is slowly increased from some arbitrary non-zero input value, it is observed that the output does not change at all until a certain increment is exceeded. It is just like a threshold only, but some small difference is there. That is increment is called resolution or discrimination. Thus, resolution defines the smallest change of the measured value input for which there will be a change of output. ఒక స్మాలెస్ట్ ఇది డెఫినేషన్, స్మాలెస్ట్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇన్పుట్, స్మాలెస్ట్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇన్పుట్ ఫర్ విచ్ దెర్ విల్ బి ఏ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ అవుట్పుట్ విల్ టేక్స్ ప్లేస్. ఆ స్మాలెస్ట్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్పుట్ మనం ఇస్తేనే, ఆ వాల్యూ మనం ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్కి ఇస్తేనే then detectable change, then the detectable change will take place across the output side. And threshold, this is the resolution. Okay, the difference between the resolution and the threshold is, basic difference is smallest measurable input. This is the smallest measurable input, whereas this one resolution is smallest measurable input change. ఒక క్వాంటిటీని తీసుకుంటే ఇది ఒక స్టాటిక్ పారామీటర్ అనుకుంటే, ఇదేమో ఒక స్టాటిక్, ఇది ఒక స్టాటిక్ పారామీటర్ అనుకుంటే, లెట్ ఇట్ బి సమ్ వోల్టేజ్, సమ్ V1 అనుకుంటే, దిస్ ఈస్ ద చేంజ్ ఇన్ ది వోల్టేజ్ V1. దిస్ ఈస్ ది resolution. Okay, threshold is just a smallest measurable input, whereas this resolution is the smallest measurable input change. Smallest measurable input change is the resolution. Here some small problem is provided. Please go through that one. One scale division is given by, here 50 divisions is provided. 50 by 50 volts is 1. Resolution is 1. Scaling factor is provided. One full scale division, that is full scale division is 1. This is 1, and the scaling factor is 1 by 10, that is equal to 0.1 volt. Similarly, another problem is provided, that is digital voltmeter. This full scale reading is 9.99 volt, and this is count is 0 to 4 nines count, that is 1 by 4 nines into 9.999. That resolution is given by 1 millivolt. Next one is dead zone. The largest change of input quantity for which there is no output. మనం ఇన్పుట్ ఎంత చేంజ్ చేసినా సరే అవుట్పుట్ రాకపోతే దట్ కండిషన్ ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ డెడ్ జోన్. ఓకే, మనం largest change of input quantity for which there is no output, that condition is known as, the term is known as dead zone here. Okay, it may occur due to the friction, does not allow the pointer to move. అదేంటంటే పాయింటర్ అసలు మూవ్ అవ్వదు అనమాట. మనం ఎంత చేంజ్ చేసినప్పటికీ కూడా there is no flow of current may takes place inside that instrument, and I am not going to obtain any sort of output here. That position is known as dead zone position. This dead zone is also caused by the backlash and hysteresis effect. Next one is dead time. The time required by an measurement system to begin to respond to a change in the measurand is termed as dead time here. The time required by the measurement system to begin to respond. ఎప్పుడైతే అప్పుడు దాకా మన నార్మల్గా ఉంటుంది ఆ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్, ఏదైతే ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ టైం అయిన తర్వాత నుంచి రెస్పాండ్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. దట్ పొజిషన్ ఈస్ నోన్ యాజ్ డెడ్ టైం. It represents the time before the instrument began to respond after the measured quantity has been changed. ఒక పర్టికులర్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వాల్యూ ఇస్తేనే ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు అప్టైన్ సమ్ అవుట్పుట్ హియర్, జస్ట్ లైక్ ఏ థ్రెషోల్డ్ ఆర్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ రెజల్యూషన్ లైక్ దట్. Dead time, that position, the time required for the measurement system to begin to respond. అంటే మనం ఒకవేళ మనం ఒక ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ కానీ ఏదైనా డివైస్ ఆపరేటర్స్ కానీ ఆన్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ సమ్ టైమ్ ఫర్ ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు గివ్ సమ్ రెస్పాన్స్ అనమాట. ఆ రెస్పాన్స్ ఇవ్వడానికి అది కొంచెం టైం తీసుకుంటుంది అనమాట. అదేంటంటే కొంతమంది స్టూడెంట్స్ ఏదైనా ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏదైనా క్వశ్చన్ వేసినప్పుడు వెంటనే రెస్పాండ్ అవ్వలేరు. అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే నార్మల్గా డిఫరెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగి అప్పుడు యాక్చువల్గా క్వశ్చన్ అడిగామనుకోండి, అప్పుడు రెస్పాండ్ అవుతారు. అట్లాగా డెడ్ టైం, ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ సమ్ టైమ్ అనమాట. దే విల్ టేక్ సమ్ టైమ్ బిఫోర్ ఆన్సరింగ్ ది యాక్చువల్ క్వశ్చన్స్. దట్ పొజిషన్ ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ డెడ్ టైమ్ పొజిషన్ అనుకోవచ్చు అనమాట. ఇనిషియల్గా యూఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు మేకప్ ఇన్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ ఆల్సో. సమ్ ఆఫ్ ది పీపుల్ విల్ బికమ్ ప్యానిక్ before giving their interview. Therefore some interviewer will know that position, and he will ask some normal questions. Later on go into the technical questions like that. అట్లా వెళ్ళొచ్చు అనమాట. అందుకని ఆ పొజిషన్ ఏమంటానంటే డెడ్ టైం అంటున్నాం అన్నమాట. ఏదైనా పర్టికులర్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ రెస్పాండ్ అవడానికి కొంత టైం తీసుకుంటుంది. ఆ టైంనే డెడ్ టైం అని చెప్పి చెప్తాం అనమాట. Here, the incapability of the system to faithfully measure the input signal is the incapability of the system to faithfully measure the input signal in undistorted form is called loading effect. I can treat this condition as loading effect here. This results in loading errors. See, loading effect valla I am going to come across these loading errors here. And noise, due to the noise also I am not going to get the appropriate readings. Those noises are different types here. That is, noise is a spurious noise may come across. We can come across this noise in different conditions. That is spurious due to spurious currents or voltages extraneous to the currents or voltages of interest in an electrical or electronic circuits. Those noises can be generated noise, conducted noise, radiated noise, like that. This generated noise due to the resistors, capacitors, transistors. These noises are different types. That is Johnson noise type, white noise type. This Johnson noise type is mainly because of temperature variations, and due to the vibration, this white noise can cause due to the vibration here. Conduction noise due to the power supply variations, and it can be reduced by the filters also, this conduction noise. And radiated noise due to the electromagnetic interference, and it can be reduced by proper shielding of the instrument. These are the different noises. I am not going to obtain the appropriate readings of the instrument. These are the next characteristics is dynamic characteristics. In this dynamic characteristics, the behavior of the system when input vary with time, and so does the output, is called dynamic response here. Dynamic input consists of two states here. That is, first one is a steady state and second one is transient state. Steady state response is simply the response when the input reaches infinite condition. The magnitude has definite repeating time. And this is the steady state. We can this is the let it be in control systems. We may come across these two states. First one is a transient response, and next one is a steady state response. In transient response, I am going to obtain the damping waveform here, whereas in steady state response I am going to obtain at a large amount of time, at final intervals of time, I am going to obtain some steady output here. That is the basic difference between transient and steady state. The steady state response is simply the response when the time reaches infinity, whereas transient response is a part of the response which goes to zero as time becomes large. It is going to be zero as time becomes large. It keeps on going to be zero condition. It going to be comes into zero condition. The magnitude does not repeats here, whereas whereas here steady state magnitude has definite repeating time here. Here magnitude does not repeat. And this is purely, we can example for this one is purely sinusoidal input signal like AC voltage with a frequency of 50 hertz. We can call this as periodic type of signal. Complex wave consists of fundamental as well as harmonic quantity. Next, this dynamic characteristics consists of some of the desirable and undesirable feature. First one is speed of response. First characteristic is speed of response. The speed of response or responsiveness is defined as the rapidity with which a measurement system responds to changes in the measured quantity. ర్యాపిడ్గా చేంజెస్ తీసుకొచ్చాం అనుకున్నాం. ఏదైనా రెస్పాన్స్ ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ రెస్పాన్స్ క్విక్గా ఇచ్చింది అనుకోండి, క్విక్గా ఇవ్వాలి. యాక్చువల్గా ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ షుడ్ బి గివ్ ది రెస్పాన్స్ మోర్ క్విక్లీ, దెన్ వీ కెన్ కాల్ దిస్ యాజ్ స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ రెస్పాన్స్ అంటాం అనమాట. ఆ చేంజెస్ ఏదైనా చేంజ్ ఓవర్ చేసినా సరే దానికి ఏంటంటే అడాప్ట్ చేసుకొని మన ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ ఆ పర్టికులర్ చేంజ్ని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకొని క్విక్గా రెస్పాన్స్ ఇచ్చిందంటే దట్ పర్టికులర్ state is called as speed of response here. This feature is most desirable feature. Okay, the speed of response or responsiveness is defined as the rapidity with which a measurement system responds to the changes in the measured quantity. This is about the speed of response. This is the desirable feature. And next one is second one is measuring lag. This is the undesirable feature. It refers to retardation or delay in the response of the measurement system to changes in the measured quantity. మనం ఇన్పుట్ సైడ్ ఏదైనా చేంజెస్ చేస్తే ఆ చేంజ్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్ అవ్వదు అనమాట. అవుట్పుట్ సైడ్ ఏదైనా డిలే కానీ రిటార్డేషన్ కానీ ఉంటుందన్నమాట. దట్ పొజిషన్ ఈస్ నోన్ యాజ్ మెజరింగ్ ల్యాగ్. This measuring lags are of two types. First one is retardation lag and second one is time delay lag. This type of measuring lag, the response of the measurement system begins immediately after a change in the measured quantity has occurred. The retardation lag అనేది ఏంటంటే begins immediately after change in the measured quantity has occurred, whereas time delay lag, response of the measurement system begins after a dead time. అంటే కొంత టైం తీసుకొని తర్వాత రెస్పాన్స్ ఇస్తుంది అనమాట. దాన్ని టైం డిలే ల్యాగ్ అంటారు. రిటార్డేషన్ ల్యాగ్ ఈస్ begins immediately, whereas time delay lag is it will take some time for giving out its response. After that time only it is going to respond. That time is known as dead time after the application of the input. If the measured quantity varies at a fast rate, the dead time has a severe adverse effect on the performance of the system. ఈ డెడ్ టైం ఉండటం వల్ల ఏంటంటే సివియర్ అడ్వర్స్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట ఈ డెడ్ టైం వల్ల. ఈ డెడ్ టైం అంటే కొంత టైం అయిన తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు ఇండస్ట్రీలో మనకి మినిమం అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ డిలే ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎట్ ఆల్ గుడ్ ఫర్ ది ఆపరేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ. ఏదైనా ప్రొడక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము, ఏదైనా ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఒక మిల్లీ సెకండ్ డిలే ఉన్నా సరే ఎంటైర్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ ఆఫ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ మెడిసిన్ ఈజ్ గోయింగ్ టు బి కరప్టెడ్. అందుకని అసలు ఆ మిల్లీ సెకండ్ డిలే కూడా ఉండకుండా చేయాలన్నమాట. అందుకని ఈ టైం డిలేస్ కానీ ఈ టైం ల్యాగ్స్ కానీ అవి ఏమీ లేకుండా చూసుకోవాలన్నమాట. అది దిస్ ల్యాగ్ షుడ్ బి very much small. Next one is fidelity. This fidelity is a desirable feature. It is defined as the degree to which a measurement system indicates change in the measured quantity without any dynamic error. The measurements, this is defined as the degree to which a measurement system indicates changes in the measured quantity. మనం మెజర్ చేసే క్వాంటిటీలో changes in the measured quantity without any dynamic error. It refers to the ability of the system to reproduce the output in the same form. ఏదైతే మనం చేంజెస్ తీసుకొస్తున్నామో ఆ ఇన్పుట్ సైడ్ చేంజెస్ తీసుకొస్తున్నామో అదే చేంజ్ అవుట్పుట్ సైడ్ కూడా ఉండాలన్నమాట. ఆ ఫీచర్ని వితౌట్ ఎనీ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ డైనమిక్ ఎర్రర్ it is going to be give some accurate output across the output side. That position is known as fidelity. Indirectly, the ability of the system to reproduce the output in the same form as the input, that is the desirable feature. That feature is known as fidelity here. Next one is dynamic error. This is the undesirable feature. It is also known as a measurement error. The difference between the true value of the quantity changes with time and the value indicated by the measurement system if no static error is assumed. If no static error is no static error is assumed here. The maximum amount by which the pointer moves beyond the steady state is called overshoot. స్టడీ స్టేట్ కంటే కూడా ఎక్కువగా మూవ్ అయింది అనుకున్నాము మన పాయింటర్, ఆ పాయింటర్ మూవ్ అయితే దాన్ని ఓవర్ స్టేట్ పొజిషన్ అంటాం అనమాట. అది డైనమిక్ ఎర్రర్ ఈస్ ది మెజర్మెంట్ ఎర్రర్, డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ద ట్రూ వాల్యూ అండ్ ద మెజర్డ్ వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ది క్వాంటిటీ. ఇఫ్ నో స్టాటిక్ ఎర్రర్ ఈస్, స్టాటిక్ ఎర్రర్ ఏమీ లేదు అని అజ్యూమ్ చేసుకున్న పొజిషన్లో ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు అబ్టైన్ సమ్ డిఫరెన్స్ హియర్, దట్ సమ్ డిఫరెన్స్ విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు ద మెజర్డ్ వాల్యూ అండ్ ద ట్రూ వాల్యూ. That position is known as dynamic error position. Okay, and if the pointer moves beyond the steady state position, and that position is known as overshoot position. This is about dynamic characteristics. Dynamic characteristics lo first one is speed of response, measuring lag. Measuring lag lo two types untai, retardation lag and time delay lag. Next one is fidelity, dynamic error. Okay, and next one is types of errors. In these types of errors we are going to see the different types of errors, that is gross errors, systematic errors, random errors, like that we are going to see. We will see this different types of errors as well as statistical analysis. Statistical analysis we are going to see in the next class. Okay, this statistical analysis we are going to see in the next class, and problems in that statistical analysis we will see in the next class. Okay, students, please go through this. I will share this material in our group after completion of 4 or 5 classes. I will share this material. Till then please go through this keynote. Okay, students, I am ending the session. You can leave now. Thank you one and all.